I'm Marco Alvarez, 35. 3 months ago, my marriage went quiet. Not a fight, not a blow-up, just silence. My wife, Clarissa, stopped touching me, stopped joking with me, stopped meeting me halfway in anything that looked like a marriage. Every night. Headache. Every morning. The phone face down, the smile that didn't reach her eyes, and a new reason she was too exhausted to be a wife. I'm not an idiot. For a while, I tried to be a good husband about it. Dinners, flowers, weekend ideas. I got eye rolls and that hostage video smile. Meanwhile, the changes started. New perfume, tighter outfits, more time on hair and makeup for an office job that involves answering phones and buying donuts on Fridays. Carbs suddenly became the enemy, except not when she was out late or with a friend. Then, on a Tuesday, the microwave made a death rattle and I went digging for the warranty in our filing cabinet. What I found instead was a thin, folded receipt tucked behind our home insurance paperwork. Planned Parenthood, consultation, pregnancy test, positive. Dated 6 weeks ago. We hadn't been intimate in 3 months. Math doesn't argue. I sat on the edge of our bed holding a slip of thermal paper that could have been a stick of dynamite. The house was painfully quiet. The kind of quiet where you hear the ceiling fan tick every third rotation and your pride walking out the front door. I didn't confront her. Rage is loud. Results are quiet. So I washed my face, practiced a normal smile in the mirror, and walked downstairs like nothing had changed. She was on the couch scrolling. Same fake smile, same face-down phone. "Hey, babe," she said like we were fine. For the next week, I played the part. Helpful, loving, attentive. Inside, I was gathering my pieces. On Saturday over pancakes, I slid out a test balloon. Maybe we should start trying for a baby. She choked on orange juice, eyes wide, hands trembling. Now, I think we agreed to wait. Until my promotion. The promotion to what, Chief Donut Officer? I smiled. Sure, when you're ready. Her relief told me everything. Guilt has a smell. She smelled like panic and expensive perfume. Monday, I took a personal day and met with the divorce attorney a friend swore by. Patricia Holt. Gray hair like a power move, office with glass walls that says, "I win." She listened to everything without blinking. Then she asked me the best, ugliest question I've ever heard. "Do you want revenge, truth, or both?" "Yes," I said. "Then you need proof and patience," she said. "Chess, not boxing. Action items, document everything. Pull financials for odd charges. Be ready to compel a paternity test after birth so I don't get stuck legally as the father. And hire her investigator, a quiet bulldog named Robert Kane. Go home and act normal," Patricia said. "Do not confront her. The minute you tip your hand, she lawyers up and our job gets harder." 2 weeks later, Clarissa announced she had to visit a cousin in Tucson for personal girl stuff. Clarissa does not have a cousin in Tucson. I wished her a safe drive, waited 10 minutes, and followed, not south toward Tucson, but 20 minutes east to a forgettable street in Tempe. She pulled up to a tan house with a dying lawn and a mailbox at a 30-degree angle. He walked out, tall, bronzed in a suspicious way, tribal tattoo peeking from a tank top. He kissed her like they'd rehearsed it. I filmed, zoomed, captured the house number, the plate, the timestamps. She went inside. I sat half a block away behind a landscaper's truck and called Robert with the address. 3 hours later, she left, hair messy, makeup smudged, that post-secret glow. She lied to me about the cousin and slept fine that night. I slept better. Proof calms the mind. Monday, Robert called. "Your guy is Jason Morales, 32, spotty employment, currently unemployed. DUI 3 years ago, 2 prior evictions. 1 child in arrears and 8 grand in unpaid support." It was like listening to a resume written by a red flag. Clarissa had traded our life for a man who couldn't pay for his own. Robert had surveillance running by then. 3 more meetups in a week, plus phone records and places they met. Patricia organized everything as neatly as a case exhibit, because that's exactly what it would be. Then Clarissa suggested dinner at our old anniversary spot, La Verona. She got dressed like it was a date from our first year. New blue dress, curled hair, soft perfume. She declined wine. Inside, at a quiet corner table, she reached for my hands. Her eyes glittered. "Marco," she whispered. The tearful smile dialed to full. I have the most amazing news. I already knew, but I leaned in like a man hearing the most extraordinary words of his life. We're having a baby, she said. You're going to be a dad. I gasped like community theater. The waiter appeared with sparkling cider. We clinked glasses. Congratulations, honey, I said. Then I set a manila envelope on the table. Her smile stuttered. What's this? Just a little surprise of my own. She opened it. On top, 8x10 prints, crystal clear, kissing in front of Jason's door, his hand on her waist. Her entering, her leaving hours later. Timestamps, plates, street sign. Next, the Planned Parenthood receipt. Phone logs connecting her to Jason's number highlighted. Bank statements showing Tempe charges on Tucson days. Then the background check. DUI, evictions, unpaid child support. Finally, notice of intent to file, draft divorce petition, and a paternity test consent ready for after the birth. The rustle of paper was the only sound from our table. Around us, forks and laughter. At table 12, revelation. Her face drained to gray, then flushed scarlet. She tried words. Nothing came. Then, I can explain. I kept my voice level. The baby, or the community outreach program you started in his bed? The line wasn't mine. Patricia had armed me with humor as armor. It worked. Clarissa flinched like I'd struck her. Please, Marco. I was confused. I was going to end it. It looks, I said, still calm, like you were having an affair with an unemployed father who doesn't support his first kid while telling your husband you had headaches. On Monday, Patricia Holt files this. You'll be served next week. She knew the name. Most of Phoenix does. I finished my cider. You might also tell Jason he's about to be a father again. Though given his record, the state will tell him eventually. She burst from the restaurant crying. I followed at an easy pace. Marco, please, she sobbed outside under the lighted sign. We can fix this. You hid a pregnancy behind our insurance folder. Tears streamed black. I thought you'd never find out. I was going to tell you. You already did, I said softly, nodding at the envelope. You told me everything. That was the last honest conversation we had as husband and wife. Legal time moves slow until it moves fast. Patricia executed flawlessly. Robert's footage and logs erased doubt. Arizona presumes the husband is the father if the baby's born in wedlock. Patricia made sure the court ordered a DNA test the moment it mattered, protecting me from a lifetime of paying for a lie. The test, months later, returned 0%. Exactly what the math told me the night I found that receipt. Jason? He did what Jason does. Vanished when the word support got real. Clarissa's health kick had a due date in May. Reality had one in November when a judge divided community property with an eye toward who blew up the community. We settled without a trial. Her lawyer saw our file and advised retreat. No alimony. I kept my retirement and the truck. We sold the house. I took the equity and bought a modest condo. The roses she planted in the front yard died right after closing. I didn't water them. Some things don't bloom twice. Months later, Clarissa called from an unknown number. I let it ring, then picked up. I made the biggest mistake of my life, she cried. I threw us away. I don't know what I was thinking. I believed her. She had made the biggest mistake of her life, but some truths don't entitle you to another try. Sleeping with a broke Jason when you had a paid-off Marco, I said, tired more than angry, is tough math. And I hung up. People ask how I stayed calm at that dinner. The truth is, I wasn't calm for weeks. I was a volcano with a lid. But Patricia's first question stayed with me. Revenge, truth, or both? If you want both, you do the unglamorous work. You document, you wait, you let people tell on themselves. When they announce a pregnancy that isn't yours over candlelight, you let the waiter pour the cider and you set the envelope down with a soft thump. I didn't win because I was cruel. I won because I refused to be sloppy. I'm not proud of the ending. Divorce isn't a victory parade. It's paperwork, logistics, and the sound of your old future packing a suitcase. But I am proud of how I protected myself. I'm proud I didn't let shock write checks my life would have to cash for 18 years. I'm proud I learned the difference between a high road and a doormat. These days I wake up before the sun as always. I manage builds, solve problems that exist in concrete and steel. I date slowly. I laugh easier. My phone sits face up on the nightstand. When I make dinner, it's because I want to, not to bribe a ghost. Sometimes I think about the night at La Verona. The way the waiter's smile flickered when he saw tears. The way the envelope landed between a bread basket and olive oil like a gavel. I remember raising my glass. Congratulations, honey. Not on the baby, on the reveal, on finally seeing my life clearly enough to choose it on purpose. The lesson wasn't about catching someone. It was about catching myself before I spent the next 20 years pretending math is negotiable and silence is love. In the end, the quiet guy with the plan beat the loud lie with the panic. Chess, not boxing. Proof, not volume. And when the moment came, I put it on the table. Thanks for watching PLR's. Like and subscribe.